What's up, YouTube? This is Casual Yu-Gi-Oh! Back at you guys after a long break of like 4 months, so we apologize, but just taking some time for us to come all back together. But anyway, this is my Cyberdark deck profile for January 2019. Cyberdarks is probably my favorite deck. I just love the look of them. I always loved them from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So anyway, they got new support like a year ago. I tried making the deck beforehand, but it just didn't work that well. I was thinking about putting Lightsworns in there. Lightsworns are terrible. Don't put them in there. You don't need them. All right. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So you start with 3 Cyberdark Horn. Y'all see that? All right. So you play 3 Horn. What he does is he equips a level 3 or lower dragon from your graveyard, and then that monster's attack combined with his attack becomes his new attack. Usually you're just equipping him with the new guy, so he'll be at 24. He has piercing. That's pretty much all you need to know. And then you got 3 Edge. Edge is the one that can attack directly by doing half damage. So both of these are really good and they come in handy a lot. I'd say Edge is probably the best. And then last you have Keel. Keel says for some reason that if he kills a monster by battle, your opponent takes 300 burn damage. This is definitely like an aged effect that just doesn't. I don't even know if that effect was ever good, but it's definitely not good now. He looks good, and he's essential because you need more targets for stuff. So that's pretty much why he's in there at 3. If they make like new ones or whatever, maybe you would play those. But that's it for that. And all the Cyberdark, all of these guys say that if they would be destroyed by battle, the monster they're equipped to gets destroyed instead. And then you have the new guys, 3 Cyberdark Claw, along with 3 Cyberdark Cannon. So Claw says you can discard it from your hand, and then you search a Cyberdark spell or trap card from your deck and add it to your hand. So he basically, there's like 2 cards right now that you could search off of him, and then when he is equipped to a monster and that monster does like damage, or that they like you're in a battle, you can once per turn dump a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. And then if this card falls off while it's equipped, you can search a Cyberdark monster from your graveyard and add it back to your hand. This guy says you can discard him to search a Cyberdark machine from your deck and add to your hand. And then he dumps monsters from the main deck during battle. And then if he falls off while equipped, you get the draw card. That's pretty much all they do. They're really good. They're essential at 3. And then for my engines and stuff that I play in here, 3 Malefic Parallel Gear. This is really good. It's just for synchro summoning. That's why he's in there. But I really like it, and I'll give you my reasoning for why I put Malefics in here. I play 2 Malefic Stardust Dragon. By the way, Malefic Parallel Gears just says if you would try to synchro summon using him, you can use a Malefic monster from your hand as the material. So you got 2 Malefic Stardust Dragons. The Malefic monsters, they need a field spell to summon themselves on the field. You can easily search that with Cyberdark Claw, so that's not really ever a problem. But Malefic Stardust Dragon says if he would be out there and your field spell would try to get like blown up, it can't because he's out there in the field. He protects field spells from dying. So that comes in handy, but you can just synchro with him and Malefic Parallel Gear, so that's good. By the way, if you were to try to summon the Malefics, you have to banish their extra deck counterpart from the deck for these, for Malefic Stardust and Malefic Cyber End Dragon. Cyber End Dragon, he's 4,000. He doesn't have an effect. He just, both Malefic monsters, they're just saying that if it's out there, it's the only monster that can attack. Usually I will attack with Cyber End Dragon. I usually don't summon Malefic Stardust Dragon. I usually just use it for synchro fodder. But Malefic Cyber End Dragon, he's really good. Like I said, 4,000 beat stick, comes in handy a lot. And you can synchro using both of these with the Parallel Gear. And another reason why they're in there is because in this deck you need a lot of dragons or machines that have a lot of attack. So it's an easy way to get them into your graveyard. Next I play 1 Eclipse Wyvern. This you can easily dump and then use its effect. I don't have the greatest way of banishing it from my graveyard. I know you could use Fairytale Snow, but I literally hate that card more than like anything else, so I'm refusing not to do it. So if you like that card, you could use Fairytale Snow to banish this out of your graveyard, because you could easily dump it, but I just won't. I'm using something else. But this card's really cool. He could banish and like get a Malefic Stardust and like get it to your hand, or another card that I'm about to show. So Shadal Dragon, I do run just a mini Shadal engine, the minimum. I was running 2 Shadal monsters in the main deck, but I kind of just got tired of drawing him. But Shadal Dragon's pretty good. If he's sent to the graveyard, you can obviously dump this from your deck if you needed to. But I run Shadal Fusion in here as well. But he can pop a back row if he's dumped, and then if you draw it and you set it, you can target a card on the field and just bounce it back to the hand. So he's good. Next one, ulti Dark Arm Dragon. Your Dark Arm has to be ulti. It's part of the rules, but this guy over here actually got me this card for Christmas a couple years back, so I love it. Dark Arm's like my favorite card, but really easy in this deck. Dark Arm, not only is he a dragon, so that works out for you, but you can manage your graveyard really easy. Most of the time, if you do get this card and draw it, you're going to have 3 darks or a way to get 3 darks, so he's really good. I think you can just banish to pop stuff. Dark Arm is a great card. Chaos Dragon Levianeer, this card just came out like a couple months ago. This is my way of banishing Eclipse Wyvern. Now you do really have like good access of, like I said, what's in your graveyard. We do have a way of getting light monsters in your graveyard besides Eclipse Wyvern. And I'll show that here in a second. But Chaos Dragon Levianeer, he has 2 different effects based on like what monsters you're using. I guess he has 3. The ones you're going to be using is like he can banish 3 dark and or light monsters, and depending on what the combo is, that's what his effect is. If it's all darks, I believe he can take a card from your opponent's hand and like shuffle it back into the deck, so they'd lose a card. That's good. And then if you have a mix match of dark and light, I believe you can like bring back a monster. Oh no, it's if you have a mismatch of dark and light, you can pop like 2 cards on the field, and I think it's non-targeting. So, yeah. But he's 3,000. His downside is that he can't attack the turn he's like summoned, so that kind of sucks. I just kind of use him for like other stuff. Now on to the spells. I play 3 Pot of Duality. This card is great in here. Honestly, if you ever like ran across a Cyberdark deck profile and they weren't using Pot of Duality, I don't think they're doing it right, because Pot of Duality, you're mostly just using your regular normal summon. Yeah, I got some other plays in there, but that's your main thing you're doing, and this kind of assures that you get the cards you need for it. So Pot of Duality I think is great at 3. Now I play triple Allure of Darkness, and I understand Allure doesn't like net you a positive, but in this deck everything is dark except for like Eclipse Wyvern, and you just need to be able to draw into better stuff. And banishing is not that big of a deal because we have a way to get it back, but you have so many multiples of things that it's not that big of a deal. And then I play the 1 Pot of Acquisitiveness. This is to grab your banished stuff back. Like I said, you're banishing off Allure of Darkness. You have a few spells that will banish by themselves. And then you have the Malefic monsters, which if you summon them, they'll banish as well. So this lets you kind of recycle the cards you banish and then draw a card. So I kind of like it as a 1-up. But, and then the cards that are searchable. So you got 1 Cyberdark Impact, searchable off Claw. This is pretty easy to pull off. This lets you summon Cyberdark Dragon from your extra deck. You just need the 3 specific guys, which you're playing 3 of. You have a lot of good draw power. It's not hard to get them. And you could dump them if you needed to from the deck. So Cyberdark Impact, great way to get out Cyberdark Dragon. And it puts the materials back in the deck. So some good stuff with that. I only play 1 Cyberdark Inferno. I've seen other people run 2 or 3 of this card. I think it's fine at 1 because you're basically playing 4 copies because you're playing 3 claws. So I really I don't want to come into like the fact that like I might like draw multiples of that because I really don't think it would help. But this card is great. So it protects your Cyberdarks that are equipped from being destroyed by card effects or being targeted by card effects. And then the only other effect I know that it does, you can, so it has 2 other effects. You can once per turn return a Cyberdark from your field back to the hand and then immediately normal summon a new Cyberdark monster. The reason this is good is because if your opponent like was able to attack one of your Cyberdarks and like the equip fell off but the monster was still there, this is a great way for you to bounce it back and then kind of re-equip. So kind of makes your opponent have to get rid of your Cyberdarks and not just leave them there. And then this last effect is that if this card is destroyed by your opponent, you can just add a fusion spell or a polymerization or whatever from your deck to your hand. We play a couple of them, so that effect actually comes in handy a lot. So yeah, this card's good. 1 Mound of the Bound Creator. The Malefic Cyber End is a 10, and then there's a few level 10s in the extra deck that you can get out, so I kind of like this. It gives them protection. It's pretty much the same as the last card. It can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And if your level 10 monster kills something in battle, it does 1,000 burn damage, so that's why I kind of like it. You could play a second Inferno instead of this, I'd get it, but I kind of like this instead. 1 Foolish Burial, a way to dump some of your stuff. You have a few cards that want to be dumped, like Shadal Dragon or Eclipse Wyvern, or I don't know, if you needed a specific Cyberdark monster or something like that. And now for the fusion spells, 1 Ulti Overload Fusion, because it looks great. This is a great way for you to get out not only Cyberdark Dragon, but the new Cyberdark monster that's in there. I think that's the only reason we use it, but yeah, it's great. It's fine. 1 Shadal Fusion. This is, if you draw this and you didn't draw your Shadal Dragon, then you can use it and get out Shadal Winda. Pretty cool. And then 1 Miracle Synchro Fusion. Because of how easy it is to dump from your extra deck, this card's pretty easy to pull off. So that's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, you play triple Elder Entity Entis, or whatever you say this. So basically, the only reason you're using this is if this card's sent to the graveyard, you can just pop a card on the field. It's not once per turn, and you have an easy way to dump it off of Claw while it's equipped. And then the other reason why this is good is because it's a light. So that Chaos Dragon, actually this is the light target that you usually use. So pretty much at all times you have access to dumping a light monster. So that's kind of cool. You could play a Chaos Engine in this deck and it would make a lot of sense if you wanted to run like Envoys and stuff like that. You could do that. If Chaos Dragon Emperor of the End ever comes back, I don't care if his effect's been errated or what, I'm going to put him in the deck. So just letting you guys know. One Winda. Winda just says that each player can only special summon once, which is fine. Works perfect with this deck because you're not special summoning a whole bunch. And 2, she can't be destroyed by card effects. That's really good. So it's really easy to get out. 1 Predaplant, Chimera Rafflesia. This card is only in here because you can dump it, and then the next standby phase after it's been dumped, you just search a fusion spell or polymerization from your deck and add to your hand. Really great. 1 Cyberdark Dragon. Cyberdark Dragon, he's one of my favorite monsters as well. He looks amazing. His effect is that you can just target a dragon from your graveyard, equip it, and then whatever that monster's attack is goes on to him. And then, wow, seriously, he's snoring back there. What an idiot. So anyway, he also gains 100 attack for every Cyberdark monster, or for every monster in your graveyard. So he can get it pretty high. The new guy, Cyber Darkness Dragon, I don't get him out a whole lot. Like, I think they made him a little too difficult to get out with not enough, like, awesomeness. He only has 1,000 more base attack, which is not that great. He can equip a dragon or machine. That's kind of what makes him good. And then if your opponent, I think, would try to, like, do anything, you could just negate it by sending an equip from your field to the graveyard. But I don't think he's that good. He's easy to get out with Overload Fusion. That's what makes him easier, because it can be any Cyberdark effect monster. So kind of gives your dragons some use, but that's pretty much it. He's all right. Naturia Exterio. This is what you get out with Miracle Synchro Fusion. You could run any like targets, but I think he's the best Miracle Synchro Fusion thing. He can, I believe he just like sends cards from the top of your deck to like negate spell or traps. So he's pretty good. Malefic regular Cyber End Dragon. Sorry, this is just to have that way if you want to summon Malefic Cyber End, you just banish this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. 5-headed dragon. This is, why do I have this in here? Oh, this is you can dump it with Cyberdark Claw. That's what it is. You dump it with Cyberdark Claw, and then it's a 5,000, and it's a target for your Cyberdark Dragon. That's why it's in there. You could run Future Fusion. That could be a way for you to dump dragons. That could be something you could do as well. It's up to you. For the Synchros, 1 Nat Beast. This is just there to be dumped. You don't actually ever get this out. 1 Naturia Barkion, same thing. 1 Stardust Dragon. This is just for the Malefic Stardust, so you can just banish it. And then the 2 actual Synchros that you would get out is was this Dracocytus Corrupted Nether Soul Dragon. This is your 10-star target that you can get out with your Malefic Parallel Gear and your Stardust Dragon, because it takes a Dark Tuner and a non-tuner, non-tuner dragon monster, which works perfect. It's also a dragon, so if you can get this in your graveyard, it's just another big guy to be equipped. He can attack 2 monsters a turn, and yeah, that's pretty much it. His other effect you're never going to get off, but he's a big beat stick, and it can't be destroyed by battle. Yeah, pretty cool. And then this thing is the only 12-star that works if you have Malefic Cyber End Dragon and the Parallel Gear. So it's a 12-star. It can't be destroyed by card effects, and it's 3,000. That's pretty much it. So that's it for the deck profile. Like I said, Cyberdarks are actually pretty cool. I'm not saying they're a great deck. I think they're a fun deck, and they're casual, and they can be fun. But don't ever try to take them competitively because they're not good enough. They don't have enough protection. The main problem, I think, with the deck that Konami, if they were going to fix, would be make something where your equips can't be targeted or popped, because that's the problem. Is like, you get the field spell, and you're like, cool, I'm set. And then your opponent's like, wait, can I just pop your back row? And you're like, yeah, you can. And it just sucks. So that's what I would fix. But anyway, that's it for the deck profile. Yeah, that's it. Casual Yu-Gi-Oh! Out.